Hari Om. We are continuing our studies on Narada Bhakti Sutra. It's a Bhakti Shastra. We have a lot of Bhakti in us. A lot of people devote their time in prayers, in puja, etc. But what is Bhakti is to be known from the acharyas who are devoted to Bhakti. So in this Narada Bhakti Sutra, it is not only Narada Sutra. He has also included other acharyas, other rishis who have propounded on bhakti, defined and expressed what is bhakti. So apart from Devarshi Narada, we have Bhagavan Vedavyasa ji and others are also there, whose definition of bhakti is also expressed in these sutras. So, on the previous class, we have seen what is bhakti. In the chapter 1, section 2, sutra 7, we have seen that bhakti is sa na kamayamana nirodha rupatvat. So, while describing bhakti, it is said that bhakti is na kamayamana, means there is no element of desire in bhakti. If you go to pray, if you worship, then you ask for some, wealth. Bhagavan, ye mera kaam kar do, or putra lava, dhana lava. All this, if you ask for it, then that is not bhakti. Then it's a transaction. Then you are trying to gain something by offering something. It's vyapara. So bhakti must have no kamana, no element of desire in it. Otherwise, it will not be called divine love. Because in the first sutra itself, we have seen bhakti is, second sutra, we have seen that bhakti is parama prema rupa. It is the nature of supreme love to God. In the nature of supreme love, you cannot bargain. You cannot do business with the Lord. That Bhagavan, you give me this, I pray and you give me this. No, it cannot be done. So, there should be no kamana. This sutra says that sa no kamayamana. Sa is what? Because it's a strilinga, it is being said sa. Otherwise, it would have been sa. Bhakti is strilinga. So, and why it is no kamayamana? Because bhakti itself is nirodha rupatvat. Because it is the nature of renunciation. Because it is the nature of tyaga. That's why there is no desire. You must give up things. You must renunciate. You do tyaga. Then only that is bhakti. Bhakti is not a matter of aggrandizing wealth or people or things like that. It is giving up, tyaga. So, it puts an end to all kinds of desires. There can be material desires. There can be desire for a good school for your child or grandchild, or it can be, stress-free or good health. All these are desires. you become, in this sutra, what is being said is no kamayamana, means you become desireless. It is the nature of stopping any more vasanas. It is the nature of preventing more acquisitions. It is the nature of giving out, let go of things. Don't parigraha, don't aggrandize things. Don't have too many things with you, or desire for having more things. So, as a result, what happens? This devotion becomes fulfillment. That means what I need, whatever is there in this world, I have surrendered to the Lord because I have everything I need. I have total fulfillment. I have Purnam. This is what, see, there is no difference. See the similarity between what we are studying in Jnana and Bhakti. That is also Purnam. It's a fulfillment. How do you get fulfillment? Because of your Purnatva. Same thing here. You are fulfilled because you are Purna, because you are desireless. Okay? So, that fulfillment, contentment, the silence, and you reveal in yourself that Atmaram. This is what Vedanta says. Sa na kamayamana. And Nirodha Rupata, the reasoning, you see the reasoning also in the same one sutra. It is saying that Bhakti is devoid of desires, and the cause of the desirelessness is Nirodha Rupatvat. The nature of Bhakti is Tyaga, Nirodha. Now, Bhagavan says, if you love me, you decide that love has to be for me only. You cannot divide that love with 100 people and say, oh, also I love Bhagavan. That will not be Bhakti. You have to love him and love him alone. That is called Bhakti. So, with that Nirodha Rupatvat, when Bhagavan is, the Sutra is saying that no kamayamana is Nirodha Rupa. Now, next Sutra is explaining what is that Nirodha Rupa. One word he said, Nirodha Rupatvat, because of Nirodha. So, next Sutra is explaining what is the meaning of Nirodha. What exactly is meant by this word Nirodha? He himself gives the meaning in the next sutra. What is the next sutra? Sutra number 8. Nirodhastu. Nirodhastu.
Nirodhastu.
Lokaveda vyapara nyasa.
Lokaveda vyapara nyasa.
Lokaveda vyapara nyasa.
Lokaveda vyapara nyasa.
Nirodha tu. We can take the meaning of Nirodha as renunciation. And tu means indeed. So this renunciation indeed, Nirodha tu. And what is that renunciation? Loka, Veda, Vyapara, Nyasaha. Loka is Laukika, Sansarika, secular. Loka, Veda. Veda is religious. Loka, Veda, Vyapara. Vyapara means activities. And Nyasa. Nyasa means sannyasa, renunciation, tyaga. Nyasa means tyaga. So this meaning comes out from this sutra is this renunciation is indeed the total giving up of all secular and religious activities. Very encompassing statement. Giving up all secular and religious activities, giving up all the worldly activities as well as your spiritual activities. That is only is a nirodha. So if you, because of this nirodha, you are having bhakti, ananya bhakti. So what is that nirodha? See, nirodha has got many meanings. But this, when we are talking of nirodha in terms of bhakti, the divine love, it is saying that loka veda vyapara nasaha. Laukika, that is worldly, secular, or transactional dealings. As I told you earlier, transactional dealings. If I do love Bhagavan, Bhagavan must give love to me. If I am spending so much for the puja and arti, then Bhagavan should compensate me. Or in some other way, Bhagavan, please do my promotion, or please do my, good business, something like that. You always put something. People go pray to the Bhagavan, give me this, give me that. They also accept. So here is saying laukika, that is worldly transactional activities to give up. Only not only laukika, it is also Veda Vyapar. Veda Vyapar means Vaidika Vyapar, Vaidika Karma. Vaidika Karma means what? All spiritual or religious activities. See, Veda is also both sides. Both sides means you have karma, you have upasana, you have also jnana. So karma and upasana, mainly it is in the religious activities. You are doing some activities, karma and upasana. So you get, suppose you are doing some rituals, that is also upasana, and karma also you are doing. So all these things take your time. But here, one is saying that you give up all these activities regarding spiritual and religious functions or activities, or renunciate that. So why this Nirodhatvat is coming? Because in the previous sloka, previous sutra, he has said that sa na kamayavana nirodha rupatvat. So that's why in this sutra, he is explaining the meaning of nirodha. In that sutra, he says, in divine love, there is no trace of desire, since it is the nature of nirodha or renunciation. So in Sutra 8, that word nirodha is explained as giving up. Giving up what? All activities, either worldly activities, secular activities, religious activities, all spiritual activities or rituals, all that is to be given up. All Vaidika karma also, like Havan you do or Yajna you do, all that also to be given up. But don't, this also we'll explain later. So don't give up everything now. Hold on. See, the whole purpose is when the intensity of devotion to the Lord increases, you're too devoted, So your entire attention goes to Him. The mind is totally occupied with the thought of the Lord. You are very well devoted means you are intensely devoted. So all the time you think of Lord and different aspects of Lord also. In such a way that you leave no time for doing anything else. You have no intention, you have no energy left for engaging in any worldly affairs. Or not only world, also Vairya karma or religious rituals. Because you are immersed in love. There is only Bhagavan and nobody else. So when a devotee is immersed in the depths of bhakti, how can he entertain the desires or the thoughts of something very mundane thing like that, worldly thing? How can he entertain those desires? That will not come to him because he is putting his mind in the higher strata of the love for Bhagavan. He cannot divert his mind. If a lover of the Lord, a devotee of the Lord, is focused on the Lord, anything for that matter, Lord, you are focusing is the best thing. But anything you do in life, unless you are focused, unless you concentrate, you cannot achieve the maximum. Here, a devotee, we are talking about a devotee who is that devotion which is Parama Prema Rupa, that type of devotion. He must be focused on the Lord, his mind is concentrated, and he desires no other thing, no other, he will not spend time in, say, watching a movie or going out for a dinner or you're doing a ritual thing or puja pata. All these things are also not required. His mind seldom wanders into the objects of pleasure. Because mind always wanders out. I'll go here, there, 100 things will think of the world. Huh? You want to travel to the world, go see different places, because I have not gone to Finland, I have not gone to West, the East Europe. All these things come to mind. Why? Because mind is not steady. But if you focus your mind on the Lord, your thought will not come that I have to entertain myself in the movie or. Because instead of the mind wandering into the worldly affairs, to the objects of pleasure, the devotee's eyes gain solace in the lotus eyes of the Lord himself. He looks at the Lord with the beautiful eyes, then he feels so happy. He basks in the glory of the Leelas of the Bhagavan. Bhagavan has done so many Leelas. You talk of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's Leelas, like the Gopal Leelas or the Rasa Leelas or the so many Leelas, or the Ramchandra's Leelas also. All these activities, the pastimes of the Bhagavan, he reminisces, he relives it. He finds the presence of the all-pervading Lord and he immerses himself in that thought. Because that's a all-consuming, sweet love of the Lord. He immerses himself. Because his idea, his thought doesn't flow out anymore. He is there. You sit at the altar and you see the Bhagavan, his face, his hands, his legs, his flute, his mukuta, his what you call it, Mayur Chandrika, etc. And then the incense stick is there. He loves so much. All these things put together, that environment, that is created in such a way that all your attention goes to the Bhagavan. Such a devotee has no more inclination, no desire, no intention of engaging any other activities. That activities may be worldly activities, it may be religious activities. He completely gives up such preoccupations. In Srimad Bhagavata, book 10, in 29th chapter, there is one Chittam Sukhena Bhavata Prahutam Gruhesu Yanni Visastyuta Karavapi Gruha Kalle Padopadam cha Padopadam na Chalatastava Padamula Yama Katham Brajamato Karavami Kimba. Here, the Lord of the Gopis tell Lord Krishna. Gopis telling Lord Krishna that, oh Lord, our mind was very happy at home. And that mind which was engaged in the worldly affairs, in the sansarika karma at home, it has been lured by you. Our hands which were engaged in household duties, they have been robbed by their capacity to work. They cannot work anymore because we are focused on you. Our feet refuses to take simple steps to go to home. They stay with you only. And mind is always at your feet. How can we return to Braja? What shall we do there? When our mind and all our organs have stopped functioning altogether. So much of focusing, so much of concentration. I mean, totally immersed in love with Allah. All his Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas are already with the Lord. Nothing more it comes to his mind. Such dedicated devotee go beyond the need of pursuing rituals or worldly activities. They go beyond that. Normally we think doing puja, doing rituals, all these are a sign of bhakti. But here what he's saying, no more, no puja, rituals. It need not be there because you are focused on Bhagavan. These are all additional things. But can one stay away from these activities, either these rituals or puja, pata? Can we stop this? No. So, Naraji further explains what is this Nirodha, whatever he said, what is the real meaning of that word, Nirodha? He gave one meaning, but then he further, looking at our doubt that we cannot give up everything, whatever you are doing, worldly or spiritual or worldly activities, everything you give up, it cannot be possible. So what is that real thing? What is that real thing? We'll see. Next sutra. Sutra number 9. Tasmin ananyata.
Tasmin ananyata.
Tat virodhisu.
Tat
Virodhisu. Udasinata cha. Tasmin ananyata.
Tasmin ananyata.
Tat virodhisu.
Tat virodhisu.
Udasinata cha.
Udasinata cha.
Tasmin means in that Lord. Tasmin is Saptami. Tasmin means in that Lord. Ananyata. Ananyata means single-minded. There is no two. One and only one. The whole-hearted devotion to that Lord. Ananyata. Tat virodhisu. Virodha means opposition. What all those things which are opposing him, opposing that ananyata, opposing that ananya devotion, udasinata. Udasinata means udasin होता है. Udasin means indifference. Udasinata cha means I. So this is also what? This is also that renunciation. This is also nirodha. So what is the nature of nirodha? The renunciation? That is devotion to the Lord, wholehearted, single-minded. What we discussed that earlier. Single-minded, focused devotion to the Lord. And whatever is against that single-minded devotion, whatever is against to that matter, that you become indifferent. You don't, I mean, there is a difference between becoming indifferent and opposing. You don't care. It is there, okay, let it be there. I don't bother about it. So, here he is saying how, again, he is also explaining that Nirodha, how it should be pursued here. See, Nirodha has a number of meanings. The Sanskrit words are very pretty, you know, beautifully. Nirodha can mean, say, like obstruction. It can become control. It can become restraint. Or it can become renunciation. All these are meanings of Nirodha. Or in Sanskrit, it can be Tyaga, Sannyasa. All these are Nirodha. So, which meaning should be taken for this? So, because it's a sutra, he's explaining again. In a Upanishad, he doesn't explain. The Rishi in Upanishad doesn't explain again. But because Maharaj is here, so he is explaining the meaning of Nirodha again for our simplification, for our understanding. So here he is taking the meaning as Tyaga, renunciation, Tyaga. So this bhakti, the bhakti which is Parama Prema Rupa, nature of supreme love, that in the supreme love, see, we should not consider bhakti as anything else. This is the second sutra only. He is saying it is supreme love. Love for the supreme love. Bhakti to the, say, suppose you love a cat or a dog or another person, that is not supreme love. We are talking of supreme love, love to the higher self. And love to the higher self is bhakti. Love to the dog and cat are not bhakti. You love, that's okay. Okay. So, this bhakti, there is no element of desire in this bhakti. This is what we saw there. Na kamayamana. There is no element of desire. And the desire, even in bhakti, they say you don't desire for moksha also. In Bhakti Shastra, they say that moksha also should not be desired because you are already with the Lord. The bhaktas are contented. They are satisfied with the proximity of the Lord. They will not say, "Mujhe swarga le lo, mujhe, you take me to your nivasa sthala." No. He says, "I am happy where I am with you," because he is mentally close to the Lord. So he is happy with that. So this Nirodha, which has many meanings, it is you hear in this Bhakti Sutra, we have to take a tyaga. Tyaga means what? Because in the earlier sentence, earlier sutra, he had given that meaning, tyaga, nasa. Nasa means sannyasa. Sannyasa is also tyaga. So this virodha should be construed as tyaga. And what type of tyaga is this? What type of tyaga? Tyaga means giving up all the activities of worldly transactions as well as rituals and religious activities. Okay. But as I said, can you give up all the activities? Puja pata chhod nahi sakte hai na? Can you give up all the karmas also? Whatever activities you are doing in the world also, that is karma. You cannot give up the karma fully. You cannot give up the puja, religious activities fully. And you cannot do that without desire also. See, even if suppose you are doing some, you have to do a havan. Doing a havan, you will have a sankalpa, then there will be a kamana. First you will have a sankalpa, then you will have a kamana, the desire. Desire will be there. And without desire, you cannot do anything. Same way for any karma, you have got to have some desire. When they say desirelessness is something different, I'll tell you afterwards. So you cannot give up all such actions, all such desires. What is meant by these sutras is that you make a either what he says, tasmin ananyata tad virodasu udasin. That nirodha is a state. Normally what happens, all worldly or religious actions are undertaken with some desire, some expectation. Either you want to gain financially or monetarily or name and fame, whatever you want something, that's why you are doing something. Your actions are also with some desire. Your religious activities also with some desire. People will do bada yajna karne. Now who has done? So and so person. For name and fame. And file a picture उठा के YouTube में डाल दें. So that it becomes viral. So and so person has done so big yajna, So he becomes very well-known person. So, but then even though you may give up the name and fame or financial or material desires, you cannot undertake any action, either worldly or religious action, without the sankalpa or motive, without kamana or desire. So we have to understand that giving up, what giving up is saying here. The nirodha, what it is saying here. The answer is tasmin ananyata. Tasmin means in that. Ananyata. In that means that bhakti, the path of bhakti, there is ananyata, no otherness. Anya, you understand? Anya means somebody else. Ananyata means there is no otherness. And all the traits which are opposing to that ananyata, you be indifferent. Whatever is opposing to you becoming ananya, to becoming, giving the wholehearted attention to the Lord, whatever is opposing that, whatever comes on the way of that, you become indifferent to that. You don't oppose completely. You don't stop. Suppose I am doing prayers, I am doing puja, and somebody rings the bell. I need not answer the bell. or somebody phones up, you don't answer the phone call also. That is what is udasinata. Tad virodhisu udasinata. In that, whatever is virodhi to your ananyata, you become indifferent. For example, a person who is money-minded. There are many money-minded. Most of the people are money-minded. A person who is money-minded, for him, whatever he does, he looks up to what is there for me. If he does a business dealing, so he'll say, what is there for me? He will, I told you the example, no? Some of the people, they're so focused on money. And I know one example that he had pasted the 500 rupee note on the ceiling, cellotape lagake, so that when he sleeps on the bed, so he'll look at the money, 500 rupees note, and all the time he'll think of money, money, money. So that is called ananya. Because he is money-minded, he says whatever he does, he'll say what I can get in return. If I am talking to somebody, giving some advice somebody, he'll say how I can benefit. Free advice is normally free, but he'll say consultation. This is consultation. How can I get to do free? You go to a doctor does consultation only, and he charges. He said, this is my job. So a money-minded people is like this. That is what kind of ananyata. All the time thinking of money, money, money. Suppose there is a politician. You call him for a function. Sir, please come for inauguration of this function we are doing in our village. So he'll say, how many people will come? How much of stage time I'll get? How much publicity I'll get? Why he is thinking? His thought is there. How he can garner votes. That thought is there. That is what politician's job is. So he is thinking of votes, he thinks of crowd, he thinks how many supporters will get, what publicity will get, which TV channel will come. Looking at that, he will come and give his time. Isn't it? This is a personal experience. Same way, if a politician can do, politician means one of us only, or a money-minded person means what I said is anybody, whatever you are pursuing, you do that. Full attention they come. But when you are pursuing Bhagavan, you don't give the full attention. The 5 minutes ting 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 bell baja do, puja ho gaya chalo. That is not bhakti. A bhakta, he will check. When he is an ananya bhakta, he will check if his talk, his text, his company will help him in his devotion. Whatever he does. Suppose he is coming for a satsang. He will see a satsang will pave the way for his bhakti. But then you'll see whether the text is bhakti oriented, if the text, if the people are of same mindset, if the talk is, it will bring me closer to the Lord. All these things you will think and do. But if it will not, if the talk is on something else, if the talk is on share market or how to do fish farming, he will not go there. So he will not go there, and if somebody proposes to go there, he will become indifferent. So that spiritual goal is ananya. If there is a katha, Bhagavad Katha, or Gita Pata, Gita Jnana Yajna, he will run for it. Because there is satsang, there is bhajan, and there will be so many other activities which will be conducive for him to for bhakti. Bhakti, or even generally, his attention will be towards the Lord. This is ananya bhakti. He'll be interested for things to do, activity to pursue, which will take him closer to Lord, which will keep his attention pinpoint into the Lord. On the contrary, anything that is not conducive to him, he will not go for it. Ananyata is no otherness. No otherness, nothing more. I love Bhagavan, I love. And nothing, I will not get entangled in all any other worldly activity or even secular activities. Nothing else. So those people who worship the Lord for gaining something, getting some result, or even just devotion, but sometimes they mix the devotion. He's a bhakta, but his bhakti is for Bhagavan, and also sometimes worldly goals. Bhagavan, please, I am your Parama Bhakta, mera ye kaam hua nahi. This type of bhakti is not Ananya. No fulfilling desires in Ananya Bhakti. So when you are worshipping Lord and you put your head into that only, nothing else, that is Ananya Bhakti. But if you are worshipping Lord to get any benefit out of it, any reciprocating money or things or anything you are expecting Bhagavan to fulfill your desires, or through money you want to get Bhagavan, that means you spend money somewhere and you think that Lord will be happy. These are not Ananya. And all that, what is Virodhi, what is against this type of Ananya Bhakti, you become indifferent to it. You become Udasina. Okay. So now you see that completes this sutra. That's nothing much to do. But you see the connection, Sangati, connecting thought development, how he comes one by one. See, he first in the seventh sloka he said sa na kamayamana nirodha rupatva. Then next he is telling what is nirodha. He is explaining nirodha is loka veda vyapara nyasa. Okay. Next sutra he is telling again what is that nyasa. What is that? That he is saying that bhakti is ananya. No otherness. And whatever is opposing that, you become indifferent to it. So this is the way he is going ahead with explaining to you. So that ananyata, that bhakti, is becoming two things. One, either you become ananya, that means no otherness, or you become udasin, or indifferent. These two things are separated in this sloka. So that completes Sutra number 9. In the next sutra, we'll chant this next sutra. Anyasrayanam Anyasrayanam Tyago Ananyata Anyasrayanam Tyago Ananyata
Tiago Ananyata.
So in the previous sutra, he introduced this word Ananyata. So in this sutra, he is giving the meaning of that word Ananyata. The first word is Anya Asrayanam. And the first word is Sandhi Vicheda is Anya Asrayanam. Anya means other. Asraya means support. Anya Asrayanam Tyago. Tyago means giving up, renunciation. So Anyata, that single-mindedness is the renunciation of all of the support is that Ananyata, single-mindedness of devotion. That Ananya Bhakti is giving up all other supports. Is it beautiful? But we'll see what does it mean by all other supports. That Ananya Bhakti is meaning here is that Bhakti only to Bhagavan, nobody else. First, he had told Bhakti is the nature of desirelessness because of Nirodha. And what Nirodha? He said Nirodha is Ananyata and Udasinata. He said, no? Previous mantra he said, Nirodha is Ananyata and Udasinata. That means wholehearted devotion or to one word and also indifference. So what is that Ananyata? He is explaining here. And he is saying, Anya Asrayananam Tyago. Renouncing all other asrayas. Asraya means what? Whatever support you have. Giving up all other support systems. Whenever we are in trouble, we hold on to something. What support do we take? You get support from the people, from the power, from others for our, we want to get out of the trouble, we take support. But here what he say, that without support, there is no other support. Who is the support? Only Bhagavan is support. You take no asraya of anything else. Whatever happens, the Lord will support. When you have that single-pointed attention on Lord that He is the only one who will support, then you will not depend on any other asraya. What is the normal support system? Normally in the world, we have MP3. MP3. What is that? Manpower. Number one is manpower. Number two is money power. Number three is muscle power. You have manpower, money power, muscle power. A person tries to do himself because he is strong enough, he is mentally strong, he is physically strong, he will try to avoid all the problems of the world so that he thinks, I am myself, I'll support myself. That's good. But he has got the confidence in himself. He tries to do himself. So when he cannot do, he depends on others. He depends on other manpower. He can look up to his family members. He can look up to his friends, relatives, or the community where he's living. He will talk to somebody and maybe he will develop some contacts who knows him, or he will get some support from somebody. So the manpower support he will take for solving the problem. Others, that may not be the ultimate. He may have problem, financial problem. So financial problem, he requires money power also. So he'll take support of he'll borrow some money from somebody, from the friends and relatives, or he'll borrow money from outside or from the bank or from somewhere. He'll borrow the money. So all the three powers he takes as support. And in a longer view, we take the support of the insurance, we'll take life insurance, we'll take insurance of all the things that we have. You'll develop some bank balance. We'll think that that bank balance will support me in case of requirement. There is a health problem, I'm hospitalized, somebody's health is bad, then that bank balance, that money power will help me. But remember, when everything fails, the Lord is the ultimate ashraya. Narayana eti samarpayami. And here he is saying, anasrayanam means any support system other than God. The person doesn't depend on any other support system other than God. Does it mean that you will give up everything else? You will not keep money in the bank? Or you will not have the people or friends? No. They will be there. Use your money power or manpower or muscle power, all that you use. But remember, all these supports are there. All the strength stems from that Bhagavan only. Bhagavan is the ultimate support for you, me, and everybody. So if I am taking support from my friend Mahesh is also deriving the support from the Lord only. So we must remember that ultimate support is the Bhagavan. Then why to keep the people in between? You might as well take that support of Bhagavan without anybody's support. Through him, you get everybody's support. Okay. So, Annasrayanam Tyago Ananyata. Don't renunciate renunciate all of the support for your Ananya Bhakti without anything else. Without the wholehearted devotion, you don't need anything else, Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone. On this, we'll elaborate with examples next time. Okay, so we conclude. We'll do the Santipada now.